and add the links as well and where it came from, not just the hyperlinks, because it gets hard for me. I know I was reading it this morning and saw the sources, but it's hard for me. This is in the Wall Street Journal, but it's hard for me to source it when it doesn't have it at the bottom. And if you're in a hurry and don't do it, sometimes that's fine. I know the links are there, but it's just once it's flattened, I have to then reread the article to give you the sources. Yeah, Wall Street Journal, and what is this, Fox News? Okay, the point here is that this is over the top, how stupid I think we are. Now, let's go ahead and just go to some of these clips, because remember, Obama says he will not call the Islamicist terrorists crazy people. I mean, if you had some sect of Christians taking over half the Middle East and cutting all the Muslims' heads off, they'd call them radical Christians. But they won't even call them radical or extremist Muslims. This is the political correctness. Just like hundreds of Muslim men in one city in England on record rape more than 4,000 children, and the local police will do nothing because it's politically incorrect to fight organized crime when it's racially or religiously organized. It's like if you expose the Jewish mafia. Of course there's different Jewish mafias out there. Like there's Italian, like there's Irish, there's Wasp Mob. It's so established, you just don't call it the mafia, you call it the establishment. You call it Boss Hogg. If you go after the Jewish mafia, you get called anti-Semitic. I mean, I just expose all these mafias. I just tell the truth. Look up the ADL. It was founded when Jewish gangsters were getting in trouble, and so they financed it to call people anti-Semitic if they dared go after Jewish organized crime. I mean, that's where this stuff comes from. We have to be able to criticize gangs, whether it's a white supremacist gang or a Jewish gang or a Muslim gang or a black gang. I mean, look at all the black gangs out there getting stirred up by George Soros to attack the police. You got the little white kids out there leading them from the colleges going, time to kill the police. And the police are ordered to sit there and stand down when terrorist threats are being made that if you or I made those threats, we'd be put in jail. And should be. You just randomly say, let's kill cops. This is what this country's turned into. Let's start going to the clips. Here is the Congresswoman from La La Land from California, Barbara Lee, agreeing with Obama.
The president and the White House, they're exactly correct on this, and I applaud them for this because, first of all, they're responsible for ensuring our national security. We have to be very careful in our language and how we perceive these horrible, horrific acts of terrorism. And we do not, I believe, want to see any more anger and hostility and violence in the world. And so they have to be very careful to ensure that our response.
So if you call people chopping men, women, and children's heads off, blowing up every Christian church they find, and killing Shiites and non-radical Alawites, it will make them angry. But Democrats get up on MSNBC and say that I'm a terrorist, I'm a racist, I hate women, and that's okay. And they just make it up. I mean, these people are sick, and it's because our government at the highest level is working with Al-Qaeda. Let's go to Mary Harf from the State Department saying all they want's jobs. You know, when they're putting little girls into sex slavery and selling them into slavery, all they want's jobs. I mean, listen, some of them have got brown skin and they're foreigners. That means they're perfect. The only thing bad in this world, and we know that, is a white male. Let's go to the clip.
We need, in the longer term, medium and longer term, to go after the root causes that leads people to join these groups, whether it's lack of opportunity for jobs.
We're not going to be able to stop that in our lifetime or 50 lifetimes. There's always going to be poor people. There's always going to be poor Muslims. And as long as there are poor Muslims, the trumpet's blowing. They'll join. We can't stop that, can we?
We can work with countries around the world to help improve their governance.
By the way, let's just stop right there. We're going to go to break and come back with more of these clips. We got Obama basically saying the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the West, the criminal groups, they're trying to deindustrialize us, trying to make us dependent because they know if you're independently middle class or well off, you politically will promote freedom generally, and that gets in the globalist way of world government. The West, whether it's in Egypt or Libya or Syria or Iraq, has been fomenting sectarian violence and destabilization on record. General Wesley Clark has gone public in 2 different speeches saying he saw the classified battle plan to bring down 7 countries with destabilization. I don't even like Wesley Clark. He's an anti-gun guy, but at least he told the truth. So we know the battle plan. They are destabilizing it and stirring it all up and then opening the borders up to bring these people in to have the clash of civilizations. Then they build a police state up to fight it and use it on the libertarians.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
Hey there, Guns80.com continues to surprise us with low prices and high-quality Ghost AR-15 rifle kits. At Guns80.com, Ghost AR-15 kits are an even better idea than buying at gun shows or through private parties, because the Ghost AR-15 kits at Guns80.com require no background checks, no registration, they don't even have serial numbers. That's what I call privacy. Go to Guns80.com to order your Ghost AR-15 rifle kit. No dealers, no hassles, ship direct. Guns80.com or 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780.
As the New World Order continues to tighten its grip on every facet of our lives, we're all asking ourselves, how can we maintain our independence? The answer is clear. Get prepared, and you get prepared now. Now the only question left is, where do we begin? My Patriot Supply is here to help. Call 800-247-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. We're even covering the cost of shipping. Are you willing to rely on the government and FEMA in the event of an emergency? Call 800-274-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. You won't be able to find this deal online, and there is a strict limit of 4 per caller, so don't wait. Call now, 800-274-3070. That's 800-274-3070. Call right now.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. A toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Attention Alex Jones listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to Alex Jones unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-562-5136. Try it now to listen to Alex Jones 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-562-5136. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear Alex Jones untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-562-5136.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
They railed against the crown. Another ragtag band. Declaring independence. They laid their bodies down in a bloody war.
Laid their bodies down on a bloody war.
For liberty.
And liberty.
For their descendants. We've got to get Steve Voss back on. An amazing country singer for liberty. Free today. Thanks to the renegades. We're free today.
We're free today.
By the way, I think John Harmon up at the network actually has this song, Renegades. We need to get it. Voss loves us to play it. We ought to play the song coming in at the start of the segment. I probably haven't played the whole song in years on air. We should come in with Renegades. Also, that Krista Berg song is very powerful as well when it talks about liberty. Okay, so the new story just went up minutes ago on Infowars.com. I want to red link this story by Paul Joseph Watson that I co-wrote with him this morning before I came into work. Why Obama refuses to call it Islamic terrorism. Federal government has ignored Islamic threat while obsessing about the domestic extremism for years, by Paul Joseph Watson and Alex Jones. And we go through the fact that they use the radical Islamicist threat that they've opened the door to, that they ship in, as the pretext to then set up the police state here domestically. Now, here's Obama 6 months ago saying ISIS or ISIL is not Islamic, and bananas aren't yellow, and the sky isn't blue, and, well, and if you believe that, if you believe that ISIS isn't a radical Islamicist right out of Saudi Arabia, I got oceanfront property in Arizona, and from my front porch you can see the sea, and if you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free.
Now let's make two things clear. ISIL is not Islamic. No religion condones the killing of innocents, and the vast majority of ISIL's victims have been Muslim. And ISIL is certainly not a state. It was formerly al-Qaeda's affiliate in Iraq and has taken advantage of sectarian strife and Syria's civil war to gain territory on both sides of the Iraq-Syrian border.
That's enough.
It is recognized.
Our government with NATO 4.5 years ago began funding al-Qaeda out of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Yemen. This is all on record. Congress has had hearings to launch attacks against a country that was trying to work with Israel and the U.S. and had done nothing. And it opened up diplomatic channels just like Gaddafi did. I mean, they set these people up. And Gaddafi was no angel, but compared to al-Qaeda he was. And then Assad was better than Gaddafi with his record. This is very immoral, what our government's done. Now, here's the new clip with Obama saying that they're not extremist.
It's very important for us to align ourselves with the 99.9% of Muslims who are looking for the same thing we're looking for: order, peace, prosperity. And so, you know, I don't quibble with labels.
But Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz complains the name of the summit doesn't even mention the word Islam.
The words radical Islamic terrorism do not come out of the president's mouth. The word jihad does not come out of the president's mouth. And that is dangerous.
Attorney General Eric Holder says critics are missing the point.
Oh, my
gosh. We're having this conversation about words as opposed to what our actions ought to be. This is a difficult problem.
Hey, why are you still up there? And why do you have people following me around in Austin, Holder? Because I know that's from the Justice Department confirmed. You got ICE releasing illegal aliens that are drunk or committed felonies. But you got time to harass me and Dinesh D'Souza. And you said 6-7 months ago. Look up when he announced he was leaving, and he said within a month. He's a liar. Everything they do is a deception. I mean, this country is on the edge of a criminal takeover. This attorney general shipped tens of thousands of guns under orders to then blame gun shops later who tried to set up to Mexico so they could trace them and have a bunch of deaths caused by it. Turns out the cartels are buying mainly German weapons. The cartels are very anti-America down there because Mexico's lost 3 wars with the U.S. Almost all, and I've had top professors on, almost all the cartels' weapons are German because Germany built the infrastructure. What was the Austrian-Hungarian Empire? They had Maximilian. They had a German king. It's just amazing. Head knowing history. And almost all of them are fully auto from Germany. Full auto from Germany. So he did that to have some guns, but it turned out the Mexican farmers got the U.S. guns and are using it to maintain order in some of their areas. And they're beating the cartels with full auto with their single shot and bolt action and semi-auto. But that's a side issue. What is this guy doing lecturing us? Look, almost all of the government's time is spent on domestic groups, libertarians, conservatives, patriots, gun groups, okay? That's who they admit they spend their main focus on, okay? Period. Though they're going to use